We good. We good.
Think.
Are we seen? Are we center? Are we center?
Probably not.
Okay, so as you all know from everybody who tuned in to the very first part of this video of Welcome to My Life, you know that a lot happened over this past year with me, not just me. It affected my entire family. It affected my wife. It affected everybody that came in contact with me, not just me. You see, no eyebrows, lost the hair, but it's all good. But yes, it affected me to my core. Almost lost my life. That's no cap. That's not fake. That was real. I literally almost lost my life. But it affected my wife more than anything. So I don't even know how to explain it. Like I know how it affected me. It's a difference when you're with someone for a long time, and they know how you were before, and they grow with you, and then all of a sudden a drastic change happens to where you all of a sudden don't want to live anymore. So you saying those words, it's not just affecting you. If you're with someone, it's affecting them too. Yeah,
it makes them feel like, like we're not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah. I made her feel bad, but when I was going through it, I had zero feelings. I didn't care about life anymore. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about anyone and their feelings. I curse it out on the spot if I felt like it. I didn't care. And that's not how I was raised. I was raised in the church. Did not curse at all. I was against cursing. I was all about God. I was all about being positive vibes only. That's what we are now, positive vibes only. But this past year it was very tough for me. I completely changed. It was, and with me changing like that, it changed Jasmine. It changed her too, and she became bitter towards me. The attitudes and all of that stuff skyrocketing through the roof. It wasn't just me. My attitude was like crap. Her attitude became like crap, but it's because of how I changed and how I had no control over what was happening. Yeah. So, like what exactly were you feeling? Because this is all new to me too, y'all. Like I'm not just on this camera. We're not on this camera like just recording just to record. Yeah. This is real right now. Real life woman's point of view of how this affected her.
Yeah, I mean, and after your first video, I received lots of messages asking how I dealt with it, and there's just a lot of questions, a lot of comments, and a lot of support towards, how I was handling it or wasn't handling it, or, we do have 2 kids as well, so, it didn't just affect him, it didn't just affect me, it affected them as well. His skin was so bad he couldn't hold them, he couldn't touch them, or his skin would shed on them, or he was in so much pain that he couldn't. And, one of our kids is 3, and, he went from playing with him, tickling him, throwing him every day, to just constantly telling him no. So that affected him in a big way too. So I feel like that took a toll on you as well, constantly having to tell him no.
Yeah. Because kids at that age, they're mature, they're growing now. Like they're changing, their mind is changing and all of that stuff. And when they're at that age and you just constantly say no, they can start thinking, hey,
like he doesn't love me,
my father doesn't love me, or my mother doesn't love me. They don't ever want to play with me, and all I want to do is just play with them. Or sometimes they may just want a hug. And for me, I couldn't touch my kids. Yeah, I couldn't touch my kids. Yeah. Like, could you imagine that? Like, you go from being this charismatic person, always loving, to hating life itself, and then you have kids that you gotta constantly say no to. You can't touch them.
Yeah, that's hard.
Like,
it's hard.
A lot of people actually do throw in the towel. Like they go all the way full throttle, gone, like gone. Like if it wasn't for Jasmine, if it wasn't for my mother, my sister, and all that stuff, and just immediate family, like just being there for me and praying for me, and then God actually knocking me upside the head and giving me another chance, I wouldn't have been here. If it wasn't for them, I would not have been here. Yeah.
it definitely took a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
Definitely took a lot of prayer. You know, even for me to get through this past year, it took a lot of prayer. At one point, I stopped. I'm just like, whatever, he doesn't care anymore, so I'm not going to care anymore. I got to take care of my kids. I have to make sure they're okay. And so I gave up. And then, you know, every once in a while, you know, God would hit me and be like, what are you doing? Like, don't give up. So I would be praying for him, and I would forget to pray for myself. So then it really took a toll on me even harder. So I'm like, I'm praying so hard for him. I'm praying so hard for his healing, for his mental healing, for his physical healing, for his emotional healing. And I wasn't praying for me.
Left herself out of it.
Yeah, so I gave up, and I figured, you know, if he doesn't care, why should I? I couldn't do it anymore. I was exhausted. I was exhausted from praying. I was exhausted from Googling. I was exhausted from working. I was exhausted from trying to help him with whatever it is he needed help with physically, or trying to see what was going on with him, and him not communicating because he just didn't feel like talking anymore. So I gave up, and that was it. And then I started reading Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Myers. And that book completely changed the way I saw our situation. And it changed my prayer life drastically. And I started praying again. I started praying for, you know, especially for him, for physical healing, his mental healing, his emotional healing. You know, that he would just be Davin again. You know, when we met, we were 18, you know, in college, and, you know, he was just a completely different person.
8 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
8 years. Old.
And, you know, he was always smiling. He was always happy. He was always talking. It was just...
Hold on, y'all. The baby.
Sorry, guys.
The 3-year-old we were talking about earlier. He want to get some time.
Yeah. But yeah, it was hard.
Say hey to the camera, baby.
And
wave to the camera.
You want to say hi?
Wave.
But yeah, so I started praying for him again. But also in that process, I was praying so hard for him that I forgot to pray for myself. And it made me even more exhausted. And so I really had to dig in, and I really had to learn how to pray for myself again. I had to learn what to pray for. I had to learn how to pray. And I'm still, I guess, trying to figure that out. I'm still working on that. And
it's a process.
It is. It really is, especially when, like, you know, like, you go from up here in your relationship with God and in your prayer life, and then you allow yourself to just completely backslide.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, and it sucks. Yeah, it really sucks. And when you come to realize, like, man, how did I get here? It's hard, and you have to learn how to trust in God again. And we're doing that now. And I'm really excited. I mean, this year it's been a year.
That's the hardest. That's the hardest thing, learning how to trust God through struggle that you, especially struggle that you have no control over. Like, you have absolutely no control over. It's just complete attacks from the enemy, and you have no control. It is so hard. To say thank you.
It is.
It's so hard to say thank you, even though I'm going through this, even though I almost died. Thank you anyway. It's so hard, but when you learn how to actually do that, then you will rejoice so much harder. Like your victory will be so much better. Like I say this all the time. How you respond to struggle defines your true character. It reveals your true character.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real.
Oh, yeah.
How you respond. It's easy.
100%, yeah.
It's easy to say thank you when things are all good, but it's another thing. It's another battle when things get horrible.
Yeah.
And then you got to learn how to say thank you through that. It's that's a whole nother battle.
At that point, it's just, you know, things are going so bad, and you literally the only thing you're thanking him for is, hey, thank you for waking me up, because that's something.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's just starting there.
Yeah. Baby steps, but the more you do it, the more repetitions, consistency.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll be a shrug. It's like, man, okay, I've been here before. I know how to get out of this.
It's a lot, and it's exhausting. You know, I've had a lot of people like, how do you do it? Like, how do you deal with everything? And I say a whole lot of Jesus and a whole lot of coffee. And that's how I've gotten through this.
We've had a couple of pints before, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
a lot of prayer and a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
And
it's hard.
Our kids smiling. That's gotten me through a lot, you know.
Yeah. It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
Definitely hard. But as you can see, for those of you that did see the other picture, I mean, not the picture, the other video, y'all know how I used to look, and all the way up until now, I'm still pushing. Hey, God is good. We're getting there. I will be better than before. We will be better than before. Yeah. So let us know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comment section. It doesn't even matter. You don't even have to go in detail, but like, let us know how y'all are doing through life struggles and all of that stuff, and what how do you get through it? Yeah. How do you get through it? Let us know in the comment section. Let's start a community. Let's start a community, because we do read the comments and we do respond. So let us know how you life struggles that you go through, that you've been through, and what you did, how you cope with it. Yeah, let's start a community. Yeah. We're all gonna get through it together. We're all gonna make it to the top together. Like I said, we will make it to the top of this mountain together. True supporters. So thank y'all. I want y'all to thank the baby for facing the fear of the camera, just like I had a fear of the camera. Say thank you to Jasmine. Put the hands up, the praying hands, like you were wonderful. You're beautiful. Don't worry about it. We good. All right. All right. So thank y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Join the movement of being great, being different, and beating the status quo. We're all champions in our own right. We just all gotta have a push sometimes. It's all right, but we all gotta make it to the top. All right. Thank y'all. God bless.